Howdy y'all, Admiraljoshhar here, and today I have with me a very special guest. Special in some ways that will be revealed as we go.
Hey!
Come and join
I'm joining the party. Hey guys, the one Megman here.
Howdy Megman.
Hi.
Today we're going to do our top 10 videos of 2013. I think pretty much everybody will agree that 2013 was a pretty good year for movies. It wasn't quite as epic as 2014 and 2015 promised to be, what with some very awesome movies coming out, but it had a few good ones, including 2 new entries into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, a brand new Superman, and the return of everyone's favorite mutant. I don't have claws. But, which ones were the best of the year? Well,
we're gonna find out. Well, we can't say what they actually are, but we're gonna give you opinions.
Oh yeah, our personal opinions. So shut up with the people who disagree with us and the haters and the shut up, Josh.
I'll give the right disclaimer now.
Yes.
These are just our personal opinions, and do not necessarily reflect what these movies are actually like. Please keep that in mind when giving comments, if Google Plus will allow you to.
Yeah. Okay, so, for me, number 10, Ender's Game. When I was in high school, I found a book on the shelf at the library. I decided to give it a try. It sounded kind of interesting. I read it, and I enjoyed it, and I read the sequels as well, which were pretty good, with the exception of the last one, which was thoroughly confusing. But the only problem I had with the books was that I had a lot of trouble picturing some of the scenes, like especially the Zero-G battles and the game Ender plays in the book. So imagine my delight when I heard they were finally making a movie of it. And better yet, that it starred Harrison Ford as the Colonel and Ben Kingsley as Mazer Rackham. The previews I saw made it look really good, but I still kind of wondered if it would be as good as the book. Or at least as close to the book as a movie can get. Because I'd seen Hunger Games at the theater after reading the trilogy, and I enjoyed the movie. But not as much as I enjoyed the books. It just didn't really stimulate my mind as much as the book did. The movie, while still touching on some of the same issues as the book, tended to skirt around some of the deeper stuff. And I never really got the same sense of heaviness as in the book, like the same moral questions. But with Ender's Game, they seem to have gotten what the book was all about. The effects were really good, the actors all gave great performances, and the movie did keep my mind stimulated. Of course, it's been years since I read the book, and I deliberately refused to read it again so I wouldn't be comparing it all the way through like I did with Hunger Games. But unfortunately, I still did remember the twist ending, which was awesome. But based on what I remember of the book, it was a good adaptation. If I have any issues with it, it's that a lot of the minor secondary characters from the book had a drastically reduced role in the movie. Stop it.
Stop what?
While the movie is fast-paced enough to allow me to overlook that for the most part, there's at least 2 characters where their absences are definitely missed. That's Ender's brother and his sister. In the book, they're much more important to the story and to the development of Ender's character. But they're in the movie, don't get me wrong, but they're just very briefly in it. And it only briefly touches upon how important they are to Ender. So we don't really see enough of them to make the connection that Ender really is like the ego to his brother's id and his sister's super ego. I'm probably reading way too much into this, but that's the way they were written, the way they're supposed to be. Psychologically speaking, Ender's supposed to be the ego. And knock it off.
Never!
Well, anyway, it's hard to explain without a whole essay, which I've kind of already done, but anyway. But it really did jump out at me when Ender went back to Earth in the movie and saw his sister for all of about 5 minutes. In the books, at this point in the movie, it was explained that his brother and sister were political activists on Earth now, and that they were very popular. But, and they weren't the only characters who the movie did that to. Similar characters that happened to were Bean, and who's, in the books, basically Bean is portrayed as being smarter than Ender, but that he just kind of keeps off to the side. and lets Ender take the spotlight. In the movie, he's just kind of another character who's there. You get the impression that he's smart, but you don't really get the fact that he's supposed to be smarter than Ender. But another character who was kind of pushed aside, she's in it, is Petra, who was actually played by the same actress who played the girl in True Grit. But she doesn't really get a lot to do in this. Another one is the bully, who's played by Moises Arias, played very well. But overall, it was a good movie, and I give it 7 stars out of 10. And now we're on to Kyle's number 10.
Wait. I have some things to say about Ender's Game.
Okay, what do you think about Ender's Game?
I thought it was an alright movie, but, as opposed to you, I didn't really have the background with the movie, so I didn't have the same
Connection
to it as you, so that's why it's not on my top 10.
Okay.
But it was a decent movie, all right. I like the twist ending, like you said.
Yeah,
but I have a kind of argument to Bean, what you were saying. You say he's in the book. He was more of he kind of stayed to the background. But didn't you get that in the movie too? That he was kind of staying in the background.
Yeah.
So isn't that a good interpretation then?
Sort of. I mean, in the book, especially with some of his dialogue with Ender, you kind of get the idea that he's trying to push Ender to do some things that he wouldn't normally do. At least as I remember it anyway. I could be completely remembering it wrong, and it was definitely more touched upon in the sequels than it was actually in Ender's Game. So I guess that's a fair portrayal. You make a good point.
That's what I'm here for.
All right. So that's number 10 for me.
My number 10. Man of Steel. Right. The only reason this made my top 10 was because I enjoyed it a little bit more than the other movies. The first time I went and saw it, I saw it an IMAX 3D theater had just opened up in our nearby mall, and I really, really, really wanted to see it. And they were trying to have it open before Superman came out, so Superman was the first movie that I went and saw. I wish it would have been Jurassic Park 3D, but unfortunately it wasn't. That would be number 1 on my top 10 if it wasn't just a remake.
Re-release.
Re-release. Yeah, it wasn't even a remake. It was a re-release. But anyways, I go off topic. See, I'm not scripted. I don't do scripts.
I do. Sometimes.
It was the first IMAX movie that I went and saw at our local IMAX 3D theater. And I saw an IMAX 3D, and the IMAX 3D just popped. It worked really well for the movie. And
especially the flying scenes.
Yeah, it worked pretty well. The flying scenes. The one thing that I loved about this Superman movie than any other movie that I have seen as a superhero movie was the action scenes. Because the action scenes, specifically when Superman is like his first real battle against a force that was stronger than him, against I don't know what they're called, but
Kryptonians?
Yes, against the other Kryptonians, not necessarily Zod.
Yeah.
But they were going through the fields, and they're punching each other, and it's so quick. The action was quick paced, and it was just I was getting into the action so well. It felt like a good live action interpretation, and that's my lot. A good live action interpretation of like the cartoons.
I could see that. Yeah.
Like the one I think of was Superman, Batman, Apocalypse.
Oh yeah,
that was one of my favorite cartoon DCAUs. And it was the action between Doomsday. No, not Doomsday.
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse.
No, Darkseid.
Darkseid. He
Sorry.
lives on Apocalypse. The action scene between Darkseid and Superman and Supergirl, it just was so quick paced, and it looked like action. Every punch it looked like it was so powerful, and this felt like a live action interpretation of that, and I loved that. That was by far the favorite part of that movie for me, and that's why it's on this list.
Despite all the damage.
Despite all the damage. Yes, there was a lot of damage.
Millions of people dead, but we won!
By the way, spoilers. There's going to be spoilers in this. I'm going to talk about the endings. If you don't want spoilers, don't watch it.
I'm not. Generally.
I am.
Okay, so that's Kyle's number 10. So how many stars would you give it out of 10?
4.
Wow. Harsh.
I am really harsh with these stars, by the way.
Okay. And I thought I was bad.
I'm harsh. I like to keep my stars to myself. D1 McMahon here, and welcome to our top 10 Oh wait, I took over the intro. You jerk!
That's okay.
The game!
Outtakes!
Oh my goodness. We're gonna have somebody. We're gonna have a special guest!
Oh no!
We're recording.
I'm not coming in there.
Hey, you're gonna have to wait a while. This is gonna be a long video.
Yes, it is. Anyways.
I'll keep your wallet for you.
What?
I'll just keep your wallet for you.
What's my wallet doing in there?
You left it in there.
Oh, oops. Anyways.